Hari Om, Hari Om. Welcome back. Start. Sitting together. Hari Om. Om. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharyamadhyamam Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Padarayanam Sutra Bhashya Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll chant 5 to 10. You can all chant while you're muted. And if anybody wants practice, we can do it for 5 minutes after the class separately. Ajnana-kalusham jivam Jnanabhyasadvinirmalam Kritva jnanam swayam nashyed Jalam katakarenuvat Samsaraswapnatulyo hi Ragadveshadisankulaha Swakale satyavat bhati Prabodhe satya sadbhavet Tavat satyam jagat bhati Shuktikarajatam yatha Yavanna jnayate brahma Sarvadhishthanamadvayam Upadane-khiladhare Jaganti Parameshware Sargasthitilayan yanti Budbudani Vavarini Satchidatmanyanusyute Nitye Vishnau Prakalpitaha Vyaktayo Vividha Sarvaha. I'll do that line again. Vyaktayo तयो विविधाः सर्वाः हाटके कटकादिवत् यथाकाशो ऋषिकेशुः नानोपाधिगतो विभुः. I'll do this line also again without breaking the sandhi. यथाकाशो ऋषिकेशो नानोपाधिगतो विभुः तद्भेदादिभिन्वत् भाति तद्भेदादिभिन्वत् भाति तन्नाशे केवलो भवेत् तद्भेदादिभिन्नवद् भाति तन्नाशे केवलो भवेत् तद्भेदादिभिन्नवद् भाति तन्नाशे केवलो भवेत्. So far, so much, yes. So we were on the 9th and the 10th verses. And to recognize the fundamental nature of the world, I will just quickly summarize from a layman's standpoint first. We see the world as real. We see the world as existent. We see the world as permanent. We see the world full of people and objects. We call it inert and living. We believe that the sun and the mountains and everything is real and will last forever. We don't know where the creation has come from. The concept of world is it has good and bad, both in it. This is how we all see it in a layman's language. There are differences in the world. There is plurality here. There is each one to his own to a certain extent. There's a lot of confusion regarding religions and topics such as God and karma and those topics that are not visibly verifiable through the senses. There is a lot of confusion amongst people and each one to their own, what they believe in, what they like, what they are comfortable with whom they gel, with whom they are able to have a rapport. They flow along with that. This is a normal concept of the world. Is that acceptable to everybody? Have I covered most of it? Okay. Now, what does Vedanta say? Is that truly the nature of the world? Whatever we are thinking, is that what is the world? They said no. Absolutely no. It's nothing to do with how we look at the world and recognize the world. Then what is it? He said, the world has come from one source. As a layman, we do not know where the world has come from. But the scriptures tell us there is one source to this entire creation. All the billions of stars, the Milky Way, the galaxies, the universes, past, present, future, whatever will be experienced by any living form, all of this has one source. What is that? There's just one material with which the world is made, and that is Parameshwara. He calls it in the 8th verse, Parameshwara. Parameshwara represents the Sagunam form, which means Maya Upadhi. Maya Upadhi means along with Maya. Maya is the adjunct. Maya, whose Maya? Ishvara's Maya. Deeper topics later on cover it. For now, just this much. Parameshwara is the Saguna form. Some people say Shiva, but to us, it's just Ishwar, one word. Ishwar is that form before all the varieties of gods, God names. All varieties of gods, and I will include every concept of God in this, in any religion. If there is any name given in any religion and they believe that to be God, whether it's Jesus, whether it's Allah, whoever it is, all of this is coming from one source. The name is Ishwar. This Ishwar multiplies itself, multiplies or is seen differently. It can be invoked differently, is the right word. Ishvara can be invoked differently. Ishvara can express differently. Ishvara is, as he is going to say in the next verse, is the very pervasive material. But in this 8th verse, he says, this Ishwar is the material with which all is made. I must share something if it makes anything better. So what is the material with which all this is? It is Ishwar. What is Ishwar? He is the material. Material as in what? Like we have said, all the varieties that you see on water in ocean, bubbles, foam, waves, all of it is nothing but water. What is the bubbles material? All that froth and bubble that you see. What is the material? Water. The wave, water. This vividhata, all this is emerging, coming from material cause. And the attention should be on that. That makes correction. That starts the study. Material cause of the world is known in the Shastra to be Brahman as Ishwar. Brahman by itself is Nirgunam, is undivided, Ekameva. This Brahman cannot create. This Brahman has no creation. From the standpoint of Brahman, there is no creation. From the standpoint of the waker, who knows that there is, everyone's asleep. From the standpoint of the waker, no one is awake. From the standpoint of Brahman, there is no creation. This is a Siddhant. This is very confusing in the initial stage. Why? As I just said, we've just finished repeating what a layman thinks the world is to be. And here the Shastra says, the source of this entire creation is Brahman. And from the standpoint of Brahman, non-dual, one, Nirgunam, there is no creation. Then what is this creation? How has it come about? This is Maya Kalpitam. Kalpitam means imaginary. Imagination, projected, superimposed. It is superimposed upon Brahman. With what? With Brahman's own Shakti. Brahman is full, Brahman is complete. It's like, okay, if someone has done a double PhD in a particular subject, any subject, will that person not be able to teach a child ABCD? उसके लिए क्या है ये? It's like too easy a job. It's already inherent. If you've already learned something and gone ahead, whatever is behind, left, covered, overcome, is easy to, you already know it. Brahman is complete. It's all. It's full. It alone is. Anything is possible in Brahman. Brahman's own Shakti. Shakti is a term that we will imagine. Brahman's own inherent power brings about apparent vikar, which is the creation. Vikar means modification. An apparent modification, which is the creation. To understand two examples, I've been saying it in the last two classes. In an Upanishad, it is said, the spider makes a web. What is the material of the web? Its own saliva. But this web is separate from the spider. As if उससे बाहर आया है. मगर उससे बाहर कैसे आया? उसी से आया है. उसी का मटीरियल है ये. And उसी, it's sustained by the spider only. And when the spider thinks, when it's about to be attacked, we know that it takes its web back into its own self. It just withdraws itself. There's a very beautiful photograph I took once. I'll see it. If I can bring it up next time. It's a beautiful thing that the spider is making a web. It's in the air. I just about managed to catch it. You can see the thread coming out and the spider's hanging like that. And it's beautiful. To me, it's beautiful because the whole concept came out from there. This idea that from Brahman comes creation. Without the help of this example, it's a distant knowledge. It looks very difficult to understand because Brahman we don't know. So the source of creation is Brahman, material is Brahman, and Brahman by itself, from its standpoint, there is no creation. Yet we experience a creation. This creation is to be seen just as you see the web in the spider, from a spider. That material with which it is made, it looks separate. It looks distant. It looks away. As if spider is different, the web is now totally different. मगर वो कभी उससे अलग हुआ ही नहीं है. It's never got separated. Then what is the second example? Even more concrete. Our own dream world. The entire dream that we see is from us, looks separate from us, and on waking resolves in us. So what is the material of the dream? My own self. My thoughts are the ones that have weaved it. My latent desires, my latent vasanas, whatever is in my antakaranam, whatever is in my subtle body, whatever is in my mind, when I go to sleep, I have kept it submerged. A lot of our thoughts are submerged under the more everyday based thoughts, and then those deeper thoughts keep getting deeper, submerged more and more, but sometimes they have a lot of power, like volcano. Eruption of a volcano. When there is an eruption of a volcano, that eruption is, the material of that eruption is from where? From within the mountain. What is the nature of that eruption? The nature of the eruption is it's thrown away, thrown out. It's burst out. In the same way, our own impressions that we keep latent inside. And at certain times, they come out as expressions. They come out as dreams. The material of the dream is me, myself. And the material of that sustained by me and gets resolved back in me. Upadana. Upadana means material cause. It is a substratum. That is the second thing. Akhila Adhar. Adhar means substratum, means adhishthan, means the locus. Where is the locus of the dream? Where will you say is the dream happening? Is it happening? It must be happening somewhere. It's like saying, where is the movie happening? Answer is so simple. When you ask a question, where is a movie happening? Malini, where is the movie happening? You don't have to unmute, just say it, I'll get to know. Where is the movie happening? Movie. On the, anybody else? On the screen. The movie is happening on the screen. Without the screen, will you have a movie? Not possible. What is the adhishtan of the movie? What is the substratum of the movie? Is it still, neutral, unmoving, not shaking, steady, constant, ekam, no plurality on the screen. The screen's nature has to be that. If the screen is also moving along with the frames of the movie, God knows what we'd be watching, if it's even possible. That screen has to be not moving on the screen, right? That screen is not moving. Adhishtan. Without the substratum, you cannot have a projection. The word kalpita here means projection. It's projected. The creation is projected on Brahman. Exactly as a movie is projected on the screen. Okay, I move to the 9th verse. They're all the same. 8th, 9th, and 10th. Concept is the same. That Parameshwara, Brahman, is the Adhishtan. Akhila means steady, without break. As I just said, if the screen had gaps, can you imagine how beautiful? Even then, it's just worthwhile the exercise. Imagine a screen like you have those vertical blinds. If you have those vertical blinds and usme se one or two in between blinds have disappeared or they're broken. So you have gaps in between and you're projecting a movie on that blind. And then there are gaps in between. What is the experience of the movie? This is Vedanta. What will be your experience of the movie? Will it be this solidarity that you experience on a steady screen? You even forget that there is a screen. If it's an interesting movie, we forget that there is a screen. In fact, nobody ever cares about the screen. Who bothers that there is a screen? That it's to be understood that we've paid the money for what? We've paid the money for the movie, not the screen behind, not the projector, not nothing. I want to see the movie, the entertainment part of it. Entertainment, there are too many parallels in this example. Entertainment part of it. When I finished the course in Vedanta years ago when I'm talking, and when we were coming back, and a little hesitant, obviously, everybody is, दुनिया में वापस जाके क्या करना है करके, etc. So my question to my teacher was, what do we do over here? It's like, when you go back, when you're studying Vedanta, your wavelength is different. When you come back into the world, the wavelength shifts completely. And you're going to constantly, what do you do? He told me one statement. He says, see it as an entertainment. I'm like, huh? You are telling me people are going to be having problems and people are going to be crying and people are going to be having issues and people are going to, etc. And you are saying, see it as an entertainment. So I couldn't understand. I still probably don't understand completely that statement. But the part that I understand is this, that what have you paid the money for is the movie. It is entertaining. Even a horror movie is entertaining. Even a sad movie is entertaining. Otherwise, you will not go for such movies. They absorb, they entertain is the right word. Such is the nature of samsara. The point was, you will begin to see that this is all entertainment. Why? Because without the adhishtan, without the substratum, without the screen. The knowledge of the screen is what Vedanta has given you. Now, what is projected on it? How relevant is it? You show me a Laurel and Hardy, I'm sorry, in my times, Laurel and Hardy movie, or you show me Charlie Chaplin, or you show me the stand-up comedians of nowadays. आप कुछ भी दिखा दो. You show me floods on the screen. You show me anything. If your drishti, if your vision has shifted to the screen, what is the value of the projection in your understanding? It has reduced. You don't have the same value. If you don't have the knowledge of the screen, then with every scene changing, my mood is changing, my emotions are changing. I'm crying when there's a crying scene, I'm laughing when there's a laughing scene, etc. Along with all of that, I am also doing that. But with the knowledge that it's all just a projection on a screen, most of my emotions will disappear. And it will be a state of entertainment, a steady entertainment. It doesn't need the highs and the lows. I don't have to get excited and I don't have to get dejected. That entertainment value is not changing because it's a temporary projection. It is not that when there's floods, you're not going to feel bad. When people are losing lives, it's not that you won't feel bad, but you know that in creation, this is to happen. There is no other way. There is no stability. There is no steadiness. A dream will change frames. You cannot expect it to hold on. वही चीज कंटिन्यू होती रहे, नहीं होगा. So 2 things you have noted in the 8th verse, and they were worthy of reflection. They take a lot of time to reflect. The material of the world is Brahman, and Brahman is the adhishtan, the substratum, the screen of the world. Without the screen, you cannot project. A world cannot be seen. A world cannot be experienced. And that was the subtle point that I said is worthy of making a parallel. Today, when we experience the world as a layman, as steady, solid, real, it doesn't have those breaks in between. थोड़ी देर के लिए कुछ हुआ, फिर we lost the concept of the world. And then suddenly the world is now real again. And now suddenly you don't know where you are. And then suddenly the world has appeared again. This kind of erraticness is not there in the world. It's a steady projection. That's important to note. That steady impression says Akhila Adhar. That Adhar is Akhila. It's unbroken. So there are these 3 points that is made so far. This Brahman is the Sarga, means Utpatti, creation, Sthiti, sustenance, and Laya, resolution, Yanti. In Brahman, the creation is born, creation is sustained, and creation resolves exactly as you can say in me, the dream has emerged, the dream will sustain, and the dream will resolve. And the dream will resolve. Eka, Akhila, Adhar. That's it. Further, what it is, to just highlight this, Bud Budani Iva Varini. That example we've already seen. Water, foam, etc. On ocean, you see all varieties of names and forms, like they are born in water, sustained by water, dissolve in water. This Parameshwar, Vishnu. Vishnu means now that Ishwar has been given the Maya Upadhi, and you call it Vishnu, you call it Shiva, you call it Brahma, you call it Triputi, you call it, he is the creator. Vishnu, why? Because he's the one who's all, by name, it is Vyapti. It is pervasive. And that's an important word. The Adhishtan has to pervade for the screen, for the movie to be experienced in a real way. The screen pervades every scene in the movie. Will that be right to say? The screen pervades every scene in the movie. Is that right to say? Nod your heads. Yes or no? I'll catch whoever's gone to sleep if you do. And that is why you need the videos on. So, you know that the screen is pervasive. It pervades the movie. If it was not pervading, means kahin pe screen nahi tha, ek hole tha screen mein. The rat ate some parts of the screen on which the movie was projected. You won't get the experience of the world the way we do. The parallel is so deep. It is so worthy of reflection. जो हमें इस जगत का अनुभव हो रहा है, the experience of the world is what Vedanta questions and answers and successfully brings us to the point of liberation from it. What is this experience? It's solid. The logic is the adhishtan has to be solid. If there is no solid adhishtan means substratum, if there is no solid substratum, then the experience of the world will not be solid. Is this point clear, Siddharth? Thumbs up. If the experience of the world, the way we are experiencing is what Vedanta is questioning. We are experiencing the world as real. We are experiencing the world as permanent. We are experiencing the world as ever there. It is this world that Vedanta is trying to tell us. By itself, it is not there. First and foremost. If someone asks me, was my dream yesterday real? Who will say real? हाथ उठाओ जिसको कहना है कि रियल है ये. कल का स्वप्न मेरा, कोई आपसे पूछे कि स्वप्न हमारा रियल है क्या? You will say, then they'll insist, no, it felt real. It was very, very real. How do you know? You were not there. You don't understand. You are above it all. You seem to know everything. You don't understand what I'm going through. You don't know what I feel. And still they want to know. Was the dream real? No. When we say real, that concept of reality is coming because of this steady, always there. In every word, you can get the feel of Vedantic knowledge. जो नित्य है. It cannot be that sometimes it is here and sometimes it is not here. That it has to be always here for us to get the experience of this world the way we see it and experience now. That it is ever there. It's nitya. This Brahman as Ishwar, Maya, Upadhi, Maya, Kalpit is the creation. This entire creation, iska adhishtan is Vishnu. Vishnu just means the one which pervades, the one who has big strides, the one who, if you do Vishnu Sahasranam, you'll get all the meanings of Vishnu. That is how much is the meaning of the word Vishnu. And all of it resolves back into Brahman. That is Nityam. वो हमेशा रहना है. What else is it? He says this Vishnu, and this is very beautiful, another point. Sat Chit Atmani. It is in the form of Sat and Chit in oneself. Anusyute. It is interwoven. It's interwoven in this entire creation. Vishnu is interwoven in entire creation, exactly as screen is interwoven in the projection of the movie. You can say the screen is pervading, means the screen is anusyuta. It is interwoven. It is the material. So there cannot be anything without it. It is in everything. It inheres everything. It inheres everything, everyone. And how? It inheres as Antaryami. It sits, it's called Antaryami, means within oneself felt as Sat and Chit, always existent and always aware, knowingness. Yes, very good. The cobweb is also interwoven. Correct. Yes. The interwovenness is what is you get the entire spirit of. That is Vishnu. Syutaha in everything. ऐसा कुछ है जहां, that's why you have all these poems and you have dohas and so much of this literature has come around only this word. Kan mein, last class I said, I think many of them, kan mein, tan mein, man mein, har, everything. You cannot imagine a thing where it is devoid of Vishnu. And Vishnu doesn't just mean Vishnu, Chaturbhuja Vishnu. Yes, it means Chaturbhuja Vishnu, but it means the subtle part of the Chaturbhuja. Chaturbhuja is the gross part. What is the subtle part of it? Paveda. The screen is the subtle part. जो दिख नहीं रहा. That's coming next. This Vishnu is Nitya. Anusyuta in this, Nitya in this verse, Parikalpita, projected on Vishnu and known as Sat Chit Atmani within ourselves. Sat and Chit. I am ever present. I am never not there. I just don't seem to forget who I am. Even the one who is completely drunk, intoxicated, deluded, also knows he is, she is. वो कॉन्सेप्ट कुछ और हो सकता है, बट होने का कॉन्सेप्ट, होने का validation, I am, this validation doesn't disappear for anyone. That is Sat. And knowing that I am is Chit. This Sat and Chit is interwoven on Vishnu, Nitya, imposed on it. And what is this world? Vyaktaha Vividhaha. It is manifesting itself. This Vishnu is manifesting itself as Vyakti, as individuals, as manifested limited entities. Vividhaha, variously. That's the plurality that we experience of the world. Sarvaha, all of them. What are they? They are like different expressions of gold. If this helps a bit, I'm not sure. Let me see. If the visual appearance helps. What is the first? You can see the image? Let me make full screen. Can you see this slide? Yeah. What is this? Oh, what is this? lump of clay. Is it too small to be seen? दिख रहा है? दिख रहा है. Okay. What is this? मिट्टी. What are all these? Vikar of mitti. Modification of mitti. As modification of mitti, what is it? One of them is a kadhai, one of them is a pitcher, one of them is a tambula, one of them is a glass, one of them is a small pot, one of them is a candle holder, one of them is a curry maker, one of them is a... This is all same mitti, same clay in different forms. You break these are also clay pots. All these are clay pots. Gamle hamare. You break these. तोड़ दो सारे के सारे. What are they back? I should have drawn arrows also. What are they? Again. Clay again. Now question is, if you remove the clay, remove this vision picture of the clay, and you just focus on all the pots. Remove even the broken pot. Just focus on the pots. Will you see the clay in the pot? No. Do you see the clay in the pot? No. That is now our vision of creation. What are we seeing? We are seeing creation. But what is the material of this creation? We don't see it. But without that material, is this creation possible? मिट्टी के बना के आपको ये मिलेगा सब कुछ? नहीं मिलेगा. तो इस मिट्टी में जिसमें विकार अभी नहीं आया, what has not yet got modified, what is the potential of this mitti? Just a heap of clay. What is the potential of this? Infinite. It can manifest as any form. You can make any form out of this clay. Heap of clay. It can take any akar, any shape. But what happens to us? Oh, how do I go? But what happens to us when we are in the world? When we are in the world, we are looking at the creation and completely immersed in it. Now, when in the Guru Purnima, I said, what is the relevance of Vedanta for a Grihastha? This is the relevance of Vedanta in Grihastha's life. When you know through Vedanta that all this creation has no possibility to be independently real. Word is independently, it cannot be real. It has to have a adhishtan, a material. Who lends the reality to this creation? So what are these pots actually speaking? Kalpit on mud. They're kalpit. They have been imagined on mud. A pot maker imagined a shape and made the mud in that shape. That Nama Roop is a kalpit, imposed actually on mud. Mud is a real. So when you break all the pots, it has again become mud. Now, before it was mud, after taking so-called transformation, actually it remains mud. If the vision shifts to seeing it as mud, the name and form disappears. Because now you are seeing it as mud. पहले भी मिट्टी थी, अभी भी मिट्टी है, और टूटने के बाद भी क्या है? मिट्टी है. एकम एव खलु इदम. There is only one, which is the entire substratum of all this variety that we are experiencing called creation. Now, in terms of gold, which is the example here, hatake katakadivat. Hatake, all in gold. This bar of gold. In this gold, what all is manifested? What all is the potential? All these forms of gold. But when you go and you're looking at the forms, do you remember what is the common adhishthan of all this? What is the substratum of all these varieties of gold expressions? Do we remember what is actually the substratum? If you get my word. If you realize that it is all nothing but gold, it has come from gold, it is sustained by gold, and it is going to be going back into becoming gold. Remove the gold. I give a challenge. Aajkal you have a lot of reels, no? Challenge reels. This challenge, that challenge. I give a challenge. The challenge is remove the gold from the bangle and give me a bangle. It's a challenge, open challenge. From this bangle, remove the gold and give me the bangle. Milega. This bangle does not have existence. Mark the words. This is pure Vedanta. This bangle has no existence without gold. And that it is a bangle is the kalpitam, is the imagination, is the imposition upon gold. When I'm calling gold as a bangle, now that bangle has an akar, it's limited, it's parichinna. This gold is now looking, to me, it's just a bangle. I don't see anything else. It's an earring, it's a bangle, it's a ring. I am forgetting completely that it is gold and I'm paying the price for the gold. And without gold, there is nothing that I can extract as a bangle or an earring or a ring. नहीं आ सकता मेरे हाथ में. उसका एग्जिस्टेंस ही नहीं है. जिसका एग्जिस्टेंस अपने आप से नहीं है. This is the definition of reality. Which does not have an independent existence of its own is Maya Srishti. What is the nature of this world? The nature of this world is it is Maya Srishti. It does not have existence of its own. The entire existence that it seems to have is a borrowed existence from the material with which it is made, which I have lost sight of, which I do not know, which I don't recognize. Here in the example, it is easy to recognize gold and ornaments, but Vedanta takes that example because we can recognize it through the example. We extend it forward that the creation is exactly like this Nama Rupavat. It is only impositions of name and form that we call as creation. It cannot be separated from Brahman. It doesn't have any separate existence. Like spider and web, it may look like separate. Creation may look like separate because I cannot see Brahman. I do not know Brahman. शास्त्र कह रहा है तो हम ऐसे नमस्ते करके हम उसको अपना लेते हैं. ठीक है, कभी समझ आ जाएगा. But now just tell me how to deal with this world. At the moment, what is important is to know the world. At the moment, that is all that is relevant. The Brahman part we'll see later. Vedanta says, take a straight road. Don't get into violence. What is the straight road? The straight road is go straight to the adhishthan, go straight to the cause, go straight to the material, see the substratum. It will not be easy because it is entirely, the name and form is entirely an imposition made. Do we get the idea? The bangle is an imposition on gold. So to remove the imposition, you cannot remove the bangle to separate the gold. You will have to discern it. You have to think about it. You have to understand it. You have to separate it in your thinking. Is this clear? This verse then? So what is the verse? Vividhaha sarvaha. Now I think it should be clear. All this is varied and varied and varied. Of what? Just of the same material cause. Then in the 10th verse now that we are seeing. Yatha. So far everybody okay? Thumbs up if anybody has a question. We can take it at this point. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, I presume everybody knows it. Okay, understood, clear. Yeah. So now he says in the 10th verse, Yatha kasho rishikesho. So, Nanopadhigato vibhuhu tadbhedaad bhinnavad bhati tannashe kevalo bhaved. I'll do this again. Yeah. Yatha kasho rishikesho nanopadhigato vibhuhu तद्भेदादिभिन्नवद् भाति तन्नाशे केवलो भवेत्. So, first, the example here. Where is all that markers and highlighters? Where did they all go? Hmm? Hopefully. Yatha, Yatha Akashaha. Akashaha is space. Yatha Akashaha. What is the nature of Akash? Vibhuhu. Spread. All pervasive. Everywhere. What was the nature of Vishnu? All pervasive. Spread. Everywhere. Yatha Akashaha. As Vishnu is everywhere, now the Shankaracharya is giving us an example. To get the previous verse clearer, he brings in an example again. As Akash is Vibhuhu by nature, but Nana Upadhi Gataha. In various upadhis, upadhis means material vesture, different material bodies. As within different material bodies, the Akasha gets different names. Like, for example, in a pot, the Akasha in the pot seems to be limited by the upadhi, the material vesture, which is the pot, and the shape of the pot seems to limit the Akash space within, and we call it pot space. My favorite always has been very, very beautiful. That's why I just can't get attached to any form of a living space, because my much early, probably I must have seen a land, or when you go to Wagah border, or you go to such areas which have just about imaginary line drawn. LOC is an imaginary line drawn, except these are imaginary line drawns. Now, just because It's one piece of land. And then what do? You take a registry. इतना काट दिया. इतना काट के उसको आपने क्या कहा? You transacted some material, money, and now itna kata hua piece from that huge vibhuhu, that entire land in which you were born as a human being, this entire earth on which you were a master, Bhagwan gave you the entire earth. You were the lord of the entire earth. But for whatever reason, we said we can't handle so much. So we will only take this much. This much is what I said. I want this entirely for myself. Now, from that vibhuhu, what did I do to this space? I, as if have cut it out. As if मैंने वो काट दिया. और अब ये इतनी सी जगह मेरी बन गई. It's mine. This space is my space. My house will be built here. And then what? Now in that space, now I need different spaces. I need kitchen space. I need living space. I need private space. I need etc. space, etc. space. So now what happened? That one boundary wall which separated me from all others, within that boundary wall, I started dividing again. And that division of each room space now starts getting a separate name. This is my room. Don't come in my room. Knock before you come. Don't enter my private space. Stay out. Go to your room. Khatam baat. That one space, vibhuhu, yatha akashaha, just as space seems to get limited and defined by the boundaries or by the objects in which it is reflected. The pot space, the best is the pot space and the total space example. But here, room space, etc., etc. Plane space. What happens when in an airplane? It has a space. Unfortunately, when it crashes, what happened to that space? Merged back into total space. Now that space and this space, the pot space and the total space, only difference is the upadhi. That pot and the plane are bhinna, tat bhedat. Their bhed, differences, is based on the differences of what the name and form is. Exactly the same way, Rishikeshaha. Rishikesha means the lord of the senses. The lord and the controller of the senses. Who was he? Again Vishnu. Again Parmeshwar. So all the verses come together in one thought. That Rishikeshaha is also Vibhuhu. He is spread everywhere. How is he looking different? According to Upadhi Bheda. If I have a brown skin, then I am called brown. Rishikeshaha here is called, he is a brown man. The white person is called, oh, he's a white person. If I am short, the Rishikeshaha is called, oh, ये तो बहुत ठगी है. If I'm tall, अरे बाप रे, कुतुब मीनार है ये तो. This Rishikeshaha is getting different names as if conditioned. Bhed hai unme. But that bhed is only the bhed of the upadhi. It is not actual. Just as the pot cannot break the space. You can't call pot space divided by the total space ever. In the same way, you cannot call Rishikeshaha, that Vibhu Vishnu, that one adhishtan, one Aadhar, that ekameva that is pervading everything. You can't call that as tumhara alag hai aur mera alag hai. That you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, you are a this, you are a that, you are a Jain, you are a Buddhist, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Sanatani, I am. My Upadhi Veda. I am. That I am this, etc., etc. But ye sare, they are limiting what cannot be limited. That is why we have klesha on the planet, because we are not touching the source. We are dealing with the differences. This bheda, it is only upadhi bheda. Bhinnavat bhati. As per different upadhis, this Rishikesha also looks bhinna, bhinna, bhinna. So in a drunkard, you won't say sadhu baitha yahan. Imagine a drunkard person absolutely cannot take control of the gate. And to such a person, he says, इसमें भी भगवान है. है, there is no doubt. But भिन्न दिख रहा है. साधु का कोई लक्षण नहीं दिख रहा. भिन्नवत. That Rishikesh looks bhinnavat to us, like a different person. Different expression is the right word. Like a different expression. But truly speaking, it is only the same one. So what happens? Tannashe. Tannashe means what? Upadhi nashe. If you break the upadhi, then what will happen? Kevalaha bhavet. Where did you get the word keval in the previous verses? Oops. Where did you get the... Oh, this one. Okay, how do I stop this now? Oh, okay, I guess I do this. Okay. Where did you get the kevala word? Verse number? 4.
Parichitna.
Verse number 4. Yeah, 4. Correct. This kevalaha. See, the topic is continuing. जो कहा था परिचिन्न इव अज्ञानात, because of lack of this adhishthana gyan, that the screen knowledge is not known to us. So we are involved in this and everything looks limited and divided. But when that gets destroyed, tat nashe sati, when avidya is gone, kevalaha bhavet. And that is what he says here. Tat nashe, that avidya aropit upadhi. When this upadhi is broken, kevalaha bhavet. There's only one left. वो पहले भी वही था, अब भी वही है, बाद में भी वही रहेगा. Agyan has done nothing, no change to the material. The movie that is projected on the screen does not change the screen. Has no effect on the screen. I love that also. Imagine a fire on the screen. The forest fire that engulfed which Los Angeles was it? Where everything, all these big mansions got. So the Los Angeles fire, imagine you're watching it on the television and the television screen burns because the fire is burning the screen. And then you watch the deluge. Another next news, the deluge. There are floods in the Mandi area and houses are, or Texas floods or any flood. And you're seeing houses completely washed and your whole screen has got drowned, got wet. What would have been the experience of creation? You have to make the parallel to your experience of creation. Even when there's fire happening, there are wars happening, there is nuclear bombing happening, There is a risk of everything. All kinds of new diseases are emerging. There is death happening at every stage, and there is birth happening at every stage. Kevalaha, that remains steadfast, untouched by all this creation, remains as is. Only thing that is se- seemingly looking different is that Bhagwan in every upadhi seems to be expressing differently. According to the upadhi, that's the learning. It is only bhed of the upadhi. Here he is not talking where we get the differences from, but that is it. So the 10th verse we have concluded. Is that okay? Clear? So you have to see the 8th, 9th, 10th, and even the 11th that we'll do next time. We'll see all of them. This whole thing is one beautiful vision. Creation का nature क्या है? Reflecting on it makes us steady in our approach to life, things, incidents, everything that happens in creation. There is some sense that we are able to hold on to. Otherwise, in this chaotic expression of life, we can hold on to some sense because this is the truth, whether I see it, recognize it today or tomorrow or whenever. It won't change. Okay, we'll end here. Om Sarvesham Swastirbhavatu Sarvesham Shantirbhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaः Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Om Sarvesham Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Marge Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Dishoyam Kshobharahitah Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaः Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om everyone.